Hello, this is your weekly Space News Roundup for the 25th of July 2021, read by me, Philip Day of GiantLeap.space. In today's episode, the Space Investment Quarterly from Space Capital for Q2 is out. Hubble returns to scientific operations. B2 Space complete a test flight and give GiantLeap an exclusive update on the future. Blue Abyss in Cornwall move another step closer to reality with plans submitted for approval. And the job of the week this week comes from the Civil Aviation Authority in Sussex. Find us on patreon.com/GiantLeap for unique membership perks such as access to our Discord server and early Roundup releases. If you'd like to feature your job as Job of the Week, or you simply need to either visit our awesome space merch store or find out more about other formats, head over to giant-leap.space. Space Capital have released their Q2 Space Investment Quarterly, and it's another big number bonanza. Each quarter, we bring you the highlights from the Space Capital Quarterly Investment Report on the global space industry. This month, they continue to demonstrate the rapid expansion of global space, with the fourth largest quarter on records smashing across our sector, placing 2021 on track to beat the previous overall investment record. Last year, the global industry attracted $28.8 billion from 443 different rounds in 371 companies. Halfway through this year, we're already up to $14.9 billion, which forecasts a $29.8 billion annual total in a more diverse year for investment. Already, 216 companies have taken investment. So, what does this mean? Not only is more money being invested globally in space, but it isn't all going to one or two big players. A great number of companies are also getting a piece of the pie. A number of these companies are also younger as investors look to benefit from earlier stage, higher risk investments than they did last year, marginally at least. The UK was the sixth largest global space investor last year, investing almost $825 million or 2.87% of the global total. So far this year, the UK has leapfrogged the table to number 2 in the list, with a 13% share. This is largely due to the huge difference in investment in China, who invested $5 billion last year and barely $400 million this year, so less than 10%. But also because the UK has massively increased investment figures. We've already pulled in nigh on $2 billion in the first half of 2021. There's a significant lead to the USA at the top of the table, who've netted over $10 billion already this year. The UK, like the rest of the world, favours late-stage businesses overall, with early rounds for seed and Series A investments only attracting in the 30s of millions each in US dollars. If the UK is to achieve 10% of the global space industry by 2030, we really need to pull our finger out, and that starts with stimulating higher risk, early-stage investment. We need to start seeing our investment graph by stage favouring the left side in order to allow more possible unicorns the chance to prove their worth. Clearly, investment appetite is there for Series B or late-stage companies, but getting to Series A is almost impossible for businesses out there. Meanwhile, the UK government remains focused on providing match funding for fear of funding an embarrassing white elephant project. Paralysed by fear, competition from Europe, India, China, America and Japan could easily take the 10% market share the UK hopes for and launch it into orbit long before our under-supported, homegrown capabilities have been supported enough to design, engineer, test and license their products. Regular Giant Leapers will remember that the UK Space Agency identified first providers from the UK as Lockheed Martin and Virgin Orbit, two American companies. Meanwhile, if you discount the Sabre engine from Raptor Aerospace, we've invested less than £10 million in total ever across our own businesses. So what little government support is out there is contributing to the statistics of other countries, and those statistics translate to jobs, revenue and opportunity. So where do we go from here? The UK has some really strong contenders, from Arkit on the cyber capability side to AAC Clydespace and Airbus Defence and Space, not to mention SSTL. We have enormous spacecraft building expertise in all satellite form factors. Our fledgling launch industry is making great progress, and you'll hear more about the B2 space progress in a few moments, but there are some other big gaps that we need to address. Testing and system validation is something the UK has invested well in. From the National Satellite Testing Facility to the National Space Propulsion Testing Facility, we have some great facilities available, And Blue Abyss, again more on them later, are keen to add another capital asset to the UK space arsenal. But is it time that we looked at larger integrated projects? Why is it, for example, that Italy, a tiny economy compared with the UK, regularly bids for and wins contracts for building space station components and even whole modules? Europe and Canada will both have robotic arms on the ISS by the end of the month, and China has their whole sovereign station orbiting above our heads. The UK, without doubt, has the expertise, experience, diversity of supply chain, and corporate maturity to take on large-scale engineering projects such as space station module builds or cargo capsules for the burgeoning space commerce that will surely need it. How do you think the UK should focus its time and attention in order to sustainably grow a useful and vibrant space industry? Let me know in the comments if you think I've missed something or maybe disagree with my analysis. I definitely do read and respond to all the comments on the videos. NASA has returned Hubble to operations. It was confirmed on the 17th of July that NASA engineers had been successful in coordinating a move to a backup power supply unit for the telescope, which had been causing a number of mysterious failures. Such mysteries are always responded to by NASA in the same way: safe mode the platform to prevent further damage, assess the issue, plan a fix and get it approved, implement, and reassess. They went about this boy a few times this month, finally pinpointing and rolling out a temporary solution. Unfortunately, this solution can't count as a fix in the truest sense of the term, as the old PSU remains forever broken, but it does at least return the spacecraft to full scientific duties, and these are some of the images that she's returned since her dramatic comeback. Welcome back, Hubble. Let's hope to continue to see your outputs until long after the James Webb enters service later this year, launching from South America. B2 Space culminates student CubeSat projects with a launch. The Newport-based company is famous for their developments in Rockoon technology, where a balloon lifts a rocket to the edge of the atmosphere to make it much cheaper to punch through the thick lower atmosphere. They took their high-level balloon technology to Spain this month, working with students from 2 Spanish universities who have been developing functional CubeSats throughout the semester. Students, staff and bystanders were gratified to see the balloon climbing to altitude with payload on board and telemetry starting to flow back, indicating an on-profile flight. This success prompted an exclusive catch-up between GiantLeap and Valentin Canales, co-founder and technical director at B2 Space, about the next horizons for the business in the mid-future. Valentin told me that missions like this are extremely attractive for universities that have to operate as a business, to attract new student talent and, where applicable, their financial backers. It really helps to have a program that actually gives students real experience of building and launching satellite technology. However, in the near future, the mission profiles will be ready to change again. This summer, Valentin confirmed that the company will be ready to actually launch their rocket from their balloon platform. This would be a first, turning the Rockoon from a concept to a factual reality. Just a huge success. The company benefits from significant experience in working with their balloon platforms and technology which they have inherited since the demise of the Google company Loon. B2 Space have their sights firmly aimed at a rapid and significant progression from the first Rockoon launch this summer to full commercial operations within about 2 years. Canales said, "We want to be one of the first small launchers operating globally. For us, our launchability from almost anywhere around the globe gives us the flexibility to achieve different orbits from different locations. We are not tied to any specific spaceport. We launch from wherever we have the right conditions to reach the right orbit." Conditions are an important consideration when it comes to space launch. SpaceX is often plagued by bad weather in Texas ahead of their test flights, and Scottish vertical launch sites are likely to suffer weather delays too. Indeed, for balloon operations which require quite stable air for launch, they can only be planned realistically from Scotland in the spring and summer months, reducing opportunity by a massive 50 or 60% of the time. Finally, on how B2 Space is planning to remain competitive, Valentin lets us in on one of their unique selling points. "We can accept weird satellite shapes," he said, "because our fairing is unusual too." This means that while many companies are looking to launch numerous CubeSats all at once, small bespoke satellites will struggle to get delivered into their preferred orbits by some of the bigger players, whilst other small launchers may not be able to accommodate an unusual payload. Launching from the UK turns out to be quite tough even after the space industry regulations, as the licensing process is rightly rigorous. As a result, B2 Space is looking at Australia for early launches if they must, to protect the programme whilst they work through UK procedures. Perhaps most excitingly for us, GiantLeap is invited to cover the launch when it happens, so if you don't want to miss that, it's definitely time to double check you're subscribed and receiving notifications. GiantLeap is now looking for volunteers to help with social media outreach across all of our platforms and to help with video editing. If either or both is a passion of yours and you'd like to help GiantLeap to become an even better UK space resource, please drop a note to phil@giant-leap.space. I can't wait to chat with you. Blue Abyss submits aspirational plans for their iconic Cornwall site. Earlier this summer, we reported that Blue Abyss wanted to build a huge pool for scientific use in Cornwall, supported by UK astronaut Tim Peake. Now, there are a lot of details available about this £150 million project to provide an iconic and inspirational location in the southwest of England. I spoke to CEO of Blue Abyss, John Vickers. Humanity is destined to explore, he told me. And talking about a real, useful space for scientific and engineering testing to be taking place at the cutting edge of human capability, he said, "If you can take children to an environment, perhaps younger children, wow, look at this building. So forget who they might be coming to see, astronaut, marine biologist, or polar explorer. One child out of every 20 is an architect, a nurse, doctor, or engineer in waiting. All of our activities add up to somebody going away and just being inspired." As John suggests, the enormous pool, which is 7 times the volume of that recently completed in Dubai for leisure purposes, will be used to test subsea equipment and even exploration spaces alongside aerospace development such as for the capsule scenario and marine biology. A true confluence of great minds seems likely to be generated here, just a few miles from the world's premier oceanographic research university, Southampton. This week's Job of the Week comes from the Civil Aviation Authority. They're looking for an orbital safety analyst to be based at their HQ in Gatwick, West Sussex. This role offers a real opportunity to help the new space industry regulator to shape our relationship with orbital business and the emerging space traffic control and debris challenges which we regularly report on here at GiantLeap. That's you all caught up. If you're listening on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else there's a like button, please smash it now. It's a great way to ensure GiantLeap gets the support we need to continue bringing you the news. On social media, we're using the hashtag GiantLeap, where we usually post several times a day. If you'd like to be a part of it there, come and join us there. Thanks for checking in, and until next time, remember that every giant leap is set up by thousands of small steps. You've been watching a giant-leap.space use Roundup.